14 is the P line. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, but there's a couple of just little tricks to it that I want to make sure you know about. Now remember, P lines, what are they? They're basically lines on steroids, correct? So on your screen, if you would, type PL or choose your P line option. It's on your home draw ribbon. And just kind of digitize some generic shape that looks maybe like such, and close it on itself. Now, we've now done a polygon, right? We took the P line, we drew it through, we closed it on itself. Now, keep in mind that we edit this quite frequently, and this chapter will run you through all of this, but if you just select the P line, let's not just select it one time. Use your tick box or any selection option. Now, you're going to see that it's all linked. No matter where you choose it, you get the entire object. Now, you've got a bunch of grips going on there. So many times, if I need to change a side, I get on those side ones and I can pull this up. Okay, those two weren't connected, that's why it never went. If I want to move an end, I just get on the end and go. Now, one other thing to know is just kind of rest on one of your nodes that are displayed. And we do have some options that have come up now, which are stretch, add vertex, or convert to arc. So most of the time you're not going to convert this to an arc. But a lot of times we do add vertexes, and it's kind of hard to get into the other command and get them. So this is a good place to do it. Now I always forget, is it going to add before or add after? So you'll see this. So I'm just going to come in here, rest on this guy, and I'm going to say, hey, I want you to add a vertex. Now notice it went after the point. Well, if I've forgotten and I really wanted it in this segment over here, I would hit escape, go back to this one, okay, just rest on it. Because I've got that endpoint. Let me move that off. I got two endpoints sitting on top of each other. Hold on a second here. Let me do it. Undo, undo. Okay, right there. So then I'd come back to this one and then pick up where I left off, and I would add it into that segment. So just make sure you can add those vertexes and where they pop up. Don't worry if you forgot and it's going the wrong direction, just hit escape, move back one, and get it. So now those are available to you just right off the bat with grips on editing this set. There's a whole lot more you can edit. Okay? And this chapter will run you through it, but let me just kind of show you the guidelines. First thing is you're going to use the double-click edit variable. Remember when we double-click certain items like mtext, it automatically goes to mtedit. Well, p-lines are a specific item. And so it also has an editing function called pedit. And you can type PE if you want, or you can just double-click an existing p-line. Okay. So I just double-click this one. It now turned white. They're selected, just a different color, and I've got all these options down here on the bottom. I'm in the pedit command. Now, I don't know that you're going to use all of these, but there's some. Let me just kind of point out that you should know. You should know the join option. You're going to use that one. You should know the edit vertex option. The fit option. And the D curve. Now, we do have a new option in the last few units that allows us to take this P-line and switch it to a spline. And it's also nice if you got a spline, you can switch it to a P-line. Now, rarely do we take a P-line and turn it into a spline. Splines are tough to work with. P-lines are easy. We do go to splines and switch them to P-lines quite frequently. So let's just run through these options real quick and make sure we know what they are. Let's start with the edit vertex one first. Now this is a lot like what the grips will give you. So to get into edit vertex, does everybody have pedit where you've got this stuff sitting at the bottom? Okay. So you've got to hit an E enter or choose it with your cursor. You're going to see a little X pop up on a vertex. So now I have a bunch of options down here that have switched. And these have to do with these vertexes, and they're going to deal with where this guy's sitting. Okay. So the way you toggle around on that, notice that there's a next and a previous option. Well, I'm on the first one, so I can't use previous, but I can go N for next, and it goes to the next vertex. N for next, it goes to the next vertex. P, once you get out there a little bit, if you hit P enter, it will go backwards. Now maybe I wanted to get rid of that vertex right here. Okay, so maybe I'm going to use the straighten option. So I'll hit straighten, and it says go to the next one. I'll say the next one, and then go. And it straightens in between the two. So just play with these little options. Now, while I'm still in this, okay, I'm done with edit vertex, but I'm still in p-edit. Notice there's an exit on there. Okay, and that's X enter, right? So I X enter. This is why we say when you hit escape, hit it more than once. Because if you're dealing with a P line and you're in p-edit in some option, the first escape gets you back to this menu, the second escape deselects the item. Okay. Now I'm back into here. Now let's look at the fit one. Hit F enter. What happened to the P line? It fit it to a curve where all curves are tangent. And it tried to figure out the best way to do that. And it's based on your angle of line and how we can get this. Okay. We get a lot of these types of lines. Irregular curves are done this way. Many arcs that we estimate are done this way. Now, this is a tough thing to edit. So if you have one of these, don't edit it while it is curved. That's why I say you need to know the D-curve option also. So I hit D, enter. Does it go back to straight lines? Now this is easy to edit, because I can use grips for most of it. So that's why you know those two. Now we can't use the join option with just one P line here. So what I'd like you to do is escape out of p-edit. So I've got one P line on my screen. What I'm going to now do is do another P line, so I'm hitting PL, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to choose the end of this one, and I'm just going to digitize a little shape out here. And I'm going to join those two ends. Now if your P line didn't look like me, all you have to do here to make this work is draw one P line here, stop the line, grab another one, and draw it down. You need two P lines that have a common vertice. Now, if I notice as I click this, I've got one P line. I click this one, I have one. I want this thing to be all of one. Or, as a better example, this one is that P line. That one is that one. We use the join option for this. So just take either one of the P lines, double click it, hit J, enter for join, go select the other one. Now here's where, if it can't do it because you have a bad line segment or vertexes aren't in, what it's going to say here is that I selected objects, I did not convert this to a P line. Okay, it might say 8 objects selected, 0 added. Okay, and that's what it's saying, your geometry is messed up. Okay, that's what it's saying. Now here, mine came in 5 segments added to the polyline. So I had this one, and it added what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 somewhere. Maybe I got 2 lines on one of those. Now I'm done with p-edit. So I just right-click to get out of it. Now when I click on that, notice it's all one P line. That's a very useful one also. All right. Any questions on those? Those are the biggies. Now, there's a couple other tricks in here that we need to know about. The first one, P-line, we've got a lot of width options. We've got all these other things that we can do. I'll let the text handle, because we've already kind of gone through them as lecture. Certainly ask questions if you get them. But what if I don't have a P-line on my drawing, but I've already got the geometry there? Okay, and maybe I use the line command. So let me just kind of demo this. And if you would, do the same thing. I'm just going to take the line command, and I'm just going to draw a quick rectangle. Okay. But it's all lines. And so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Okay, draw yourself a quick polygon that closes. It doesn't have to be an exact rectangle. And you use the line command for this. Now, how do I turn these into P lines? You got to use the P-edit command. P-edit. So I hit PE for my edit. Now, P-edit is specifically for editing polylines. I don't have any polylines on my screen. I'm going to click on one of these lines right here. Okay, so I'll just click on that one. And AutoCAD recognized it and said, hey, you clicked on a line and you're in P-edit. So do you really want to turn it, you want to turn it into one? Here's where you say yes. Okay, I'm going to turn it into one. And that's the default, so I'll just hit enter. And then I'll just use the join option. So I'll hit J, enter, and I'm going to go select these other three, hit enter, I'm now done, and I can go and select this. Notice I am now a P line. And it's closed polygon. So that's one trick. You can switch an existing line to a P line using the P-edit command. The author does a great job on the grips, starting on page 407. And that goes to the spline edit command. The spline edit command, folks, the only thing, just draw yourself a spline, make sure you can double click it and it'll open spline edit and you can switch it to a P line. For when you screw up and we go 3D, because you can't use splines in 3D and you've got a spline out there, you need to switch it to a P line. So you'll need to know that next time. So just use those.
Would you go over again what a spline is?
Well, a spline is different. A P-line's got vertexes and we can make curves and stuff out of them. A spline, if you look on, maybe we ought to go. Let me do this, Cheryl. I don't want to take 5 minutes right now and go find the exact page. Splines were first introduced in chapter 5 or 6, somewhere. I'm going to put that up and I'll answer that question tomorrow. Okay, I'll go into the math behind it and stuff.
I think it'll make more sense now that.
For now, like I said, you kind of don't use them. Let's see, what else? I think that's kind of it that I want to cover on that. Couple things. People got drawings 1, 2, and 3 out there, right? How many people are going to finish those 3 today?
Like the template ones?
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much everybody, drawings 1, 2, and 3? As well as have your 4 templates? Because you were asked to do 4 templates, A, B, C, D. And then the drawing assignment asked you to do drawings off of 3 of those. Okay. Using different plot devices, different scales, different units. So everybody thinks they're going to have those done today? Well,
I didn't realize it was today.
okay, what's today? Thursday? They're going to be due end of day tomorrow. Okay, all 3 of them. If you finish all 3 of them, I do have your next group of assignments ready, or excuse me, I will have them ready in 10 minutes. Come see me, and I would be more than happy to give them to you. Yes, Mike?
I still have a problem with blocking
With what?
with the season blocking. You remember yesterday? Oh, we started blocking.
Yeah, no, we got, Juan, you still can't see that printer too, right? Yeah, we got a couple problems out here. All right, that's all I've got for today, if there's nothing else. Thanks for your time. You got quite a bit of time to draw and